This little video is kind of a continuation of a conversation taking place, or that took place, over on another video I did regarding this Tascam 424S cassette offering. There have been other people that have tried this tape out on their decks, had very poor results, and I've got a brand newly rebuilt deck here that's been calibrated, and I just got done doing tests with a TDK and had a video of that, and so I thought I would do this tape also, do similar tests, and kind of quantify the results. So I want to see how it reacts with Dolby and see what the noise floor is on it. I'll do no Dolby, Dolby B and Dolby C, and first I need to find in this case, plus 2% distortion as opposed to the 3% on the TDK. And then we'll look for the signal to noise ratio. What's going on here? Oh, I see. I've got the tape in backwards. I can't see that from where I'm standing. So I'll record my signal at 0 and then take it up to probably only plus 3 dB on this. I suspect, well, I know that this is a noisier tape than the SA. So somewhere in this range here, I should be able to find where that plus 2% distortion lies. Rewind it, play it back, and then also pay attention to the numbers in comparison to the TDK, of course. Well, playing it back here, I can see that my output levels aren't, as high on this. There's a lot of reasons for that, and I kind of figure these out as I go along. But at any rate, it's okay. We're just going to try to make the test around the same levels, and I'm interested here to see what kind of noise I'm getting and how effective noise reduction is. I already know in the other tests on the TDK, on the SA, that on Dolby C, I'm getting somewhere around a 16 dB enhancement, or I'm getting a 16 dB signal noise ratio boost on the Dolby C. I'm interested to see what kind of numbers I might get here. But of course, I'm already seeing some funny things going on. If you look at the meters on the playback, I've got quite a bit of, I'm going to call it jitter. That's what it looks like. So I think that I've got my input levels about right here. Let's see where I've got them. So it's down about 2 dB on the playback, and of course that's not what the tape specifies. I think it specifies plus 4, but there's reasons for that, and I'll get to those towards the end of the video after I figure out what's really happening. Bear in mind that with the SA, those levels were dead on 0 when they were recorded at 0. Okay, so now I'll just switch it over to B at about the 20 mark, And then at the 40 mark, I'll take it to Dolby C. It would help if I turn my inputs on. Okay, try it again. Okay, so it's looking already like with no Dolby, I'm getting 54 to 55, minus 55 on the noise floor, which is close to the SA. On B, I'm getting maybe 64. Again, within maybe 1 or 2 dB of the TDK, and then around 72, let's call it, looking at the right channel, on Dolby C. So I'm talking from 55 to 72, again similar, 16, 17 dB boost on signal noise ratio. So that's good. That's encouraging. I don't like what I'm seeing on the meters, but then again, this deck isn't set up according to Tascam's documentation. So but I've got some decent numbers here to work with. Right. I think what I'll do now is see what kind of frequency response. And I'm keeping in mind that Tascam is asking to set up the EQ following the bias. And I'm not doing any of that on this deck. I'm just looking for some general numbers and trying to understand why people are having such poor results with their tests. So let's just do it. See what it says. Okay, I'm just going to stop it there at about 400 hertz, and then that'll show us also the EQ. And there it is. That's a big drop off. Just looking at it, I can almost guess it's 5, 6, maybe 7 dB down at 10 kilohertz. Looks like 6, 6.2 on the left channel, 5 on the right. And then over, I mean at 15, it's over, what, 10, close to 10. So there's a reason, at least one reason, why it doesn't sound good to others, because there's no high end. There's just, 6 dB at 10 kilohertz is like 4 times reduction, attenuation of critical frequencies. So yeah, I think that explains quite a bit right there. Again, this deck is not set up for this tape. But what I am going to do is try it on a 122 Mark II that does have adjustments for EQ, separate adjustments, and so forth. And this is one I'm working on. This is about half done. It's about half recapped. And I have spent a few minutes biasing it and EQing it and getting the frequency response up to a reasonable level, and it can be done. The tests I've seen online have all been done with, high-end decks with auto calibration, and auto calibration is not going to be able to manage this great a swing in recording characteristics. So to me, that explains part of the reason why they sound bad to the others that have been trying it. This tape, I'm learning now, is not designed to be a replacement for cobalts, for our old cobalts that we love to record on. I'm doing the same thing. I'm finding and there's that meter, and of course this one I can monitor while I'm recording, and there's that jiggle in the meter. And what I find out when I do some recording, it translates into static. It sounds like static. It disappears with noise reduction, most of it, but it's there with no noise reduction, and it's visible. And I tried both tapes that I have, and they both do it. Both the 424s do that. Okay, so I've got this hit somewhere around 2% distortion. Sorry for all this focus hunting. It drives me crazy too. I'm going to try to just kind of fast forward through all this because it's very irritating. Okay, so signal to noise ratio goes down when I bias in EQ to get a reasonable frequency response. That's not a good thing. However, again, what I'm learning and what I'm finding out is this is not the correct way to set up for this tape. Number one, first and foremost, this tape is designed to be run at double speed. A lot of the problems that I see here disappear at that double speed, from what I understand. I haven't tried it yet. I'm going to. But it needs to be run at double speed, and it's also designed and engineered to be used with noise reduction. I think dBx is what they're actually recommending. I can get decent numbers on the scope. I can get decent frequency response, and I can get somewhat decent signal noise ratio. It's odd. It's an odd pattern, and you can see that static or that jitter actually visible in the frequency sweep. Very interesting. Don't really see that. A little bit more visible on the left channel because those are dashes, and you can just kind of see that zigzag pattern. And that is noise, staticky sounding noise in the tape at normal speed. So what I'm learning with all this, and the reason I'm encouraged, is because I'm understanding now that this tape is not designed for audiophiles or recordists or those of us that are trying to find a good source of new tapes. This tape is designed for Tascam 424 multi-trackers, home recorders, recording at double speed with dBx noise reduction, and more importantly, a deck that is set up specifically for this tape. That's not to say that a regular deck couldn't be set up for the tape. It could be, but then it wouldn't be useful for any other tape. So, this is for home recorders that are wanting the benefits of working in analog, the simplicity of knobs and buttons instead of cycling through menus. Those that want the analog and prefer the analog sound. I don't know how it sounds yet because I haven't been able to make a decent recording. I did record some tracks on it. I didn't like it. I could get frequency response. I could get a decent output, but the highs were shrilly. They weren't smooth. They weren't silvery. They were just coarse, and I'm sure that goes away with the double speed and with the noise reduction, of course. But as it is, comparing it to one of our, SAs or XLs or any of the decent normally priced tapes that are still available, it's not a replacement. It's not even close. But in the other situation, I think it has some merit and possibly even does a really good job. And I'll be testing that next year sometime when I have a opportunity to get to my 424s. I'll set up one specifically for this and give it a full test. But as for using it in a standard deck with auto calibration, I'll bet you auto calibration probably makes it worse. But using it in any kind of a standard deck, it's not going to happen. It's not made for that. And so I'm happy to have learned that because I was curious, and I'm hopeful still that maybe this product will lead to the next product. And I encourage Tascam and National Audio and anybody else making tape, keep making it. We'll keep testing it. We'll support you, and we need it. So that answers my personal questions about it, and kind of answers the discussion we were having. And maybe it will answer somebody else's questions as well. So there it is. Thanks for watching, and happy recording.